The restaurant buzzed with warmth and laughter, clinking glasses, soft jazz, and the low hum of people escaping the world outside. Across the table, Mark's eyes gleamed in the golden light, the kind that made everything feel softer than it really was. We were laughing about something small, something so insignificant that I can't even remember what it was now. But I remember the sound of his laugh, the way it filled the space, the way I used to love that sound. And then I said it. A single sentence, unplanned, stupid and careless, that ripped through everything we'd built. He went silent first. Then the laughter around us faded too, like the room itself had realized what I'd done before I did. That was the moment everything changed. It had started as a good night, our first date night in months. Mark had insisted on making reservations at the place we used to go to when we were dating. "You always said this place felt like home," he told me earlier that day, smiling in that way that still melted something inside me. He looked good that night, hair neatly trimmed, sleeves rolled up, the same cologne I used to steal from his dresser when he was away. He'd even ironed his shirt, which was rare these days. He was trying. Could see that. And I wanted to try too. At least, that's what I told myself. But there's something cruel about guilt. It doesn't let you enjoy even the smallest piece. It seeps through laughter, through smiles, through every kind gesture, whispering you don't deserve this. He reached across the table, brushing his thumb over my knuckles. "You seem quiet tonight," he said gently. I forced a smile. "Just tired. Long week." Mark nodded, eyes full of concern. "You've been working so hard lately. I barely see you anymore." That made my stomach twist. 'Cause he was right. But not in the way he thought. 2 months ago I crossed a line. It hadn't started as anything serious. Coworker Ryan, funny, charming, the kind of man who made people feel seen. I'd been drowning at work, feeling invisible at home, and Ryan had been there, listening, laughing at my jokes, remembering the small things Mark had stopped noticing. It was a slow fall. Messages after work, coffee breaks that lasted too long, conversations that drifted from professional to personal. I told myself it was harmless. But the first time he brushed his hand against mine, I didn't pull away. And from there it spiraled. The worst part wasn't even the physical part. It was how easy it felt. How easily I slipped into a version of myself I hadn't been in years. I felt wanted again. Felt alive. But every time I came home to Mark, the weight of what I'd done sat heavy in my chest. He'd smile at me, ask how my day went, and I'd lie with practiced ease. Until that night. "I missed this," Mark said between bites of pasta. "Just you and me. No distractions, no phones, no work." He was right, I'd been distant for weeks. But he had no idea why. I tried to keep the conversation light, steering it toward memories, funny stories, things that made us feel like us again. And for a while it worked. We laughed until our sides hurt, shared dessert, even planned a weekend trip. Something spontaneous, something to remind us who we used to be. And then, halfway through a laugh, I said it. "Ryan would have loved this place." It slipped out so naturally that I didn't even realize the weight of it until I saw his face. The laughter stopped. His smile faltered. His eyes searched mine, sharp, confused, and then slowly, quietly, something inside him began to break. "Ryan," he repeated. Froze. "Oh, I just meant." He mentioned once he likes Italian food. But the damage was already done. Mark leaned back, his expression shifting. Not anger yet, but suspicion. That cold, unfamiliar silence between us thickened until I could barely breathe. "Since when do you and Ryan talk about restaurants?" he asked softly. I swallowed hard. "We just talk at work, that's all." "Right," he said, his tone flat. "You've mentioned him a lot lately." My pulse quickened. "Have I?" He didn't answer. He just looked at me, really looked at me, like he was finally seeing something he'd been blind to all along. Then he smiled. But it wasn't the warm, easy smile I knew. It was small, forced, brittle. "Funny. You used to tell me everything about your day. Now half the time I don't even know where you are." "Mark, are you happy?" he asked suddenly. The question caught me off guard. What? With us, he said, his voice low but steady. Are you happy? My throat tightened. Of course I am. He nodded slowly, studying me like he didn't quite believe it. Then he reached into his pocket, pulled out his phone, and placed it on the table. I'm not stupid, Mia. The way he said my name, soft, almost tender, hurt more than if he'd shouted. I saw your messages, he said quietly. My heart stopped. What messages? I whispered, though I already knew. Ryan, he said simply. You left your laptop open last week. I didn't mean to snoop. But the notification popped up. And then another. And another. He took a slow breath, the kind you take before you say something you can't take back. At first, I told myself it was harmless. That you were just venting. But then I read them. The room spun. My fork clattered against the plate. Mark, please. Don't, he said, raising a hand. Don't lie. Not now. There was no shouting. No scene. Just quiet devastation spreading across his face like a slow burn. I tried to explain, to reach for him, but he pulled his hand back. I loved you so much that I ignored every sign, he said. You coming home late, hiding your phone, that distant look in your eyes. I told myself you were just tired. That we'd find our way back. Tears blurred my vision. It wasn't like that. Then what was it, Mia? His voice cracked for the first time. Tell me what it was. I was lonely, I said, the words spilling out between sobs. You stopped noticing me, Mark. You stopped. I stopped. His voice rose now, trembling. You think that justifies this. You think that gives you the right to destroy everything. I didn't mean to hurt you. He laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. You didn't mean to. Mia, you looked me in the eye every day and lied. The silence that followed was worse than any argument. Around us, people pretended not to notice, but I could feel their eyes. The soft murmur of conversations filled the air again, but for us, the world had already gone quiet. Mark stood up slowly. I need some air. He walked away, leaving his half-finished meal, his jacket, his heart, all of it, on that table. I sat there for a long time, staring at the untouched dessert between us. The chocolate had melted into a shapeless mess. Fitting somehow. When I finally went outside, the cold hit me like punishment. Mark was sitting on the curb, elbows on his knees, staring at the ground. I sat beside him. Neither of us spoke. Finally, he said without looking up, was it worth it? I wanted to say no. I wanted to beg for forgiveness, to promise I'd fix it. But when I opened my mouth, nothing came out. Because the truth was, I didn't even know why I'd done it anymore. Maybe it wasn't about Ryan. Maybe it was about me, about needing to feel like someone still saw me. I don't know, I whispered. He exhaled, long and tired. That's worse, you know. We didn't go home together that night. I watched him walk away. His figure swallowed by the blur of city lights. I wanted to call out to stop him, but some part of me knew that if I did, it would only make it worse. When I finally went home alone, the house felt different. Emptier, colder. His shoes were by the door. His mug still in the sink, the blanket he always used thrown carelessly across the couch. I sat there until sunrise, replaying every laugh, every lie, every moment that had led to this. It's been 6 months since that night. We've spoken a few times. Practical things, logistics, the quiet courtesy of two people learning how to live without each other. He's moved out. Kept the house. But it doesn't feel like mine anymore. Sometimes I still catch myself expecting him to walk through the door. Sometimes I still hear his laugh echoing in the empty rooms. And sometimes I replay that dinner in my head. The way his eyes changed when he realized the truth. The way my words broke him. It all happened so fast. One careless sentence. One too many secrets. We were laughing. And then, just like that, we weren't.